So yeah, the previous part is that kind of the contractor or the service provider will submit, you see, they will submit the documentation, they will submit their quotation, their estimations, and whatever you need them to submit, they will submit to you, you see. So, but negotiated tendering can be based on some form of proposal whereby the contractor will maybe do presentations, and then after that you negotiate with each and every one of them. And this sort of thing, again, will be a lot more smaller group. You wouldn't have a big group of people doing this, you see. And if you do have a very big group of people, you cannot do negotiation. Otherwise, you will be having a lot of days that you need to work on it. One negotiation can be one morning or one afternoon, and then, it will usually take a longer time to go through all the elements of the proposal. So we cannot just have like 10, 20 people coming in to do negotiated tendering. So this one usually you'll be given to very highly specialized design professionals, highly specialized service provider, or very high technology transfer. That sort of contractors or that sort of service provider will require negotiated tendering, and they are probably maybe monopolizing the one of the only two players, or they may be the only monopoly players in the industry. So this is not about negotiating for prices. Yes, we try to get some discount, but most of it you'll be trying to negotiate for the scope of work. You want to make sure that what you're paying for, you're getting more, you're getting to throw in more rather than, can you cut this and give me cheaper, because if they're monopoly, then it's very difficult to talk about prices. But you may be able to, push in more work in that sense, you see. So this one also can be combined with selective tendering, when after you select 5 or 6 and then you combine it with negotiated tendering. Again, like I said, this will match with different type of procurement strategies and different type of contracting strategy. Again, you can see me keep on repeating this. Matching. It is a whole matching game. It's just like when you're young, you're playing with that, police match with thieves, and doctors match with patient, you see. So there is always the best way of doing things. Never there's a best way of doing things for your project. There's never a best way only, you see. You've got to remember that. And serial tendering, we usually use it for, let's say you have a series of work, maybe for operation and maintenance kind of project. So you want to have a group of people who are consistently coming in and do maybe operation maintenance, and you pay them over a rate. So whatever they do, they submit the claim at the end of the month based on the rate that they submitted to value the work. It can be over different phases of the project, but normally I would say it's more for maintenance work, maintenance and operation kind of work. You want to give it out to a company to be forever standing by, security company as well. This sort of company will usually go for like serial tendering sort of model. So this is not a one-off thing. It's going to be a more long-term. So they probably match strategic alliances and all that. And you may also have serial tendering with some suppliers who's going to supply you consistently with the product, and the rate is fixed. Screws, bolts, in hospital it may be like equipments, or disposable consumables. You go for serial tendering. Okay. And this is over a long term. So like I said, usually like strategic alliancing, partnering, this sort of method may be more suited for serial tendering. Okay. And we also have framework kind of agreement, So again, this one is maybe, I would say, closer to serial tendering, and more focused on suppliers normally and service and suppliers kind of framework. So you may do it may be like a arrangement, where the client actually invite the suppliers of the goods, over a period of time, on an on-call basis. Okay, so again, this is like quite similar with serial tendering. It's just a matter of how long the contract is. You see, I mean, it can be for maintenance and operation, it can be more on serial tendering, and this one here would be maybe more on like a supply kind of agreement, I would say, on framework agreement. Okay, but these are too closely related lah. So actually, I put them under 4.4. You see, so maybe I should say 4.1 and 4.2. You see, so then that would be a bit more easier to understand. You see, so they are quite close to one another. Then we have also different stages of tendering, whereby there are some tendering they have like 2 stages as well. So again, this one will probably be more on like negotiated pre-qualification with selective, or selective with negotiated. So it is not impossible to have 2 stage here. And normally you want to do an open tender, and then later on you want to do a negotiation is also pretty much possible after you shortlist the people that are supposed to be in the job, you see, and then see who agrees to the prices and the final prices. So you may still negotiate the final proposal that was being proposed by the or final bids or fixed price that was proposed by the contractor or service provider, you see, and then finalize the contract through negotiation. Okay, so again, it can also be in a situation whereby you have a main contractor that you've already confirmed, and then there will be a specialist or more technology contractor or service provider that needs to work with this particular service main contractor. Then in that sense, you can have a 2-stage tendering as well. Okay, so again, this is just a little bit of variation here and there, which we do not really need to point out. Sometimes this is only by academic, we need to point out to you, but in terms of naturally, actually, we kind of do it as we go along. Okay. Term tender, is another word. It's another kind of work, that go for a certain period of time, whereby you are offering certain rates for maybe things like maintenance. So again, serial tendering, framework agreement, term tender, they are always talking about they're used interchangeably between different clients in that sense. You see? So don't be too worried about it. Just know that their existence. There's just a slight difference between them. With serial, maybe you can fix the rate for the next phases sort of thing, next phases of the project. So it involves a lot wider kind of thing. And then framework agreement is more like after term tendering, you can do framework agreement whereby you're going on for a long-term kind of processes with the supplier, keep on supplying you something, and then term tender is more on like goods and material over a long-term, like maybe operation maintenance again. So it's always on that services and some sort of minor product, minor pieces of things, goods and services that you need. See, so over a long period of time or over a certain period of time. So just different type of method of going about it. I mean, like ways that you call it basically. Okay,